Hey, what's up guys? Professor Tom. I'm here today with student and competitor Jonathan, and we are going to have a look at what I call the Kesa Gatame kill system. This is a system that your training partners are going to hate, not just because you're tapping with it, because of the suffering along the way. So, let's get started. Hey guys, Professor Tom. I've got Jonathan here. I'm going to put him on his back. Even though Jonathan's a nice guy, we're going to have to demonstrate this somehow, so he's it. Kesa Gatame, guys, or like a modified scarf hold. Very important hold in Jiu-Jitsu. Let's have a look at what it is, why we use it, how to do it, and then what to do from there. The Kesa Gatame is really a positional pin based on one head and one arm being controlled. Let me demonstrate what it is, then why we would use it. I like to demonstrate it like this, okay? My head is down, my posture is good, my butt is off the mat. My lead leg is in line with his spine. Why? Because if he tries to roll me up and over, my lead leg stops, hit my weight going forward, which will then let it go over for the roll, okay? So I'm here like this. My butt is off the ground. This is not pleasant. If you do this hard to people, you will tap them just with pressure, okay? So, why here? Because there's a disadvantage of here. Let's look at the disadvantage. If Jonathan is able to get his head free, okay, like this, boom, he can be on my back. Second, if he's able to get his arm free and out, again, he can be on my back, because holding a head isn't enough, all right? So why would I go here? Well, traditionally because he made a smart decision. What smart decision would he have made to make me go there? A far side underhook. So in Jiu-Jitsu, you'll often hear spoken about the importance of underhooks. So I want an underhook on him. If I've got an underhook on him, it's advantageous for me. So I've got an underhook crossface combination here. However, if Jonathan puts his left arm underneath mine, he now has an underhook, which if I do nothing, he can get out to his knees, tackle me down, and get to my back, etc. if I try to keep my base. So the underhook is very valuable for Jonathan, and very valuable for me too. So if we're here again, I'll get you to switch around for me. If he gets an underhook on me, I have two choices. I can let him up to his side, play my whizzer and front headlock type game, darces, etc. However, we're trying to pin the guy, and there's a lot of wisdom in the old Jiu-Jitsu maxim of position before submission. And the fundamental thing about position is controlling a body and pinning them on their back on the ground. So when Jonathan gets an underhook, I grab a head like this. So I have to have something. But I can't risk grabbing his head without the arm. This arm is the most important part of headlock control. I wish it was called arm and headlock control, okay? So as Jonathan gets an underhook, my left hand goes to his tricep strongly. My right hand comes under, my left leg bears the weight as my right leg kicks through, and I latch on to my hamstring. Okay? By holding on to my hamstring tendon here, if he tries to bridge up, you'll see there's a pillow under his head, preventing the posture of a good bridge. Okay, I have to keep a firm hold of this arm. My butt is off the ground. It's not pleasant for Jonathan. So I'm gonna put my butt on the ground just to demonstrate. Let's have a look at our kill system, as I like to call it in my academy. From this position, we have to look at what his options are. One of the first ones is for his arm to be flopping around. If his arm is flopping around and isn't at a home base, I'm going to grab hold of it with my elbow nice and close. I now do a crunch. This is so important. Don't try to bench press against him. Sure, it's his rotator cuff, but he's fighting for his life here. So crunch, and now put his right arm under your right leg. If you want to, you can triangle off, but the most important part is I pull up on Jonathan's head. Only now do I slowly bridge and apply this Americana finish. Do not do this without pulling up on the head, and do not do it fast. Let's have a look again. Kesa Gatame, or headlock control position. His arm is floating. I secure it, I crunch, I tuck it, align my legs, pull the head, throw the hip. If he straightens his arm in this process, I can double over like this. But with this one, same thing, pull the head and get the bridge, but you gotta make sure your knees are facing the head. Most of the time, when I do this one like this, I'm just waiting for him to try to bend his arm again, and when he bends his arm again, I'll transfer it to this one because I believe the break being in a bigger joint is much more catastrophic. So I pull the head and bridge. However, after a while, he doesn't like to leave this arm hanging around because I'll rip it off. So often people will push to the head, okay, like this. If he makes a good frame here and now gets his leg over my head, boom, he can start putting me down and getting his knee through and out to an arm bar, okay? So we don't want that. So if he pushes at my head, I will make him pay. How do I make him pay? I will put my hand on his tricep. Although I try to push his arm, I mean, come on guys, like who are you fighting? Like school kids? If he puts his arm there and he's a strong guy, I'm not really gonna be able to push it too much. But what I can do is I hold it and I move my head around till it touches his head. You'll notice my right hand is palm down. Now from here we can go into finishing head and arm chokes, and I urge you to look at that as its own project. I'll show you how I like to finish the head and arm choke. Head to head, palm to palm. Lift him up, hands out, and around. That is an unfortunately horrific choke, very similar to the way Josh Barnett, who's also a student under one of the Machado brothers, finished Dean Lister. For the first time he tapped in like 16 years of competition or something. That's how it was done. So that choke is very effective. It's not a neck crank, it's an entire body kill system that happens to be a choke too. So again, he pushes up, frame, head to head, lift him up, hands out, and around. That's horrible. That sucks. That's like one of the best submissions ever. Now, he knows here is death. He knows here is death. So where else can he put his arm? Around my body. Now, why would he do that? It's very important to understand. If he holds his hands together here, he can walk his hips in, he throws me up here, and now rolls me over. Okay? Out of interest, if this happens to you, you can still do this submission here like this, with this going down and this going forward. So whenever I get rolled like this, I hold onto the head like a white belt beginner. And then he starts pushing at his hands to try to get out and stuff, goes try to get out of this. And now once I've secured this wrist, I can just put my leg over, pull his head, and get it. Be careful with this one, guys. People don't expect it. However, the point of today is to try to prevent some of those problems. So when we put Jonathan here into the Kesa Gatame and he wraps his hand around me, I need to be aware that he's going to try to roll me. So my right foot is always extending out. Look at my legs. So as he tries to run in to get his hips under me, I run too. And all of that running with 225 pounds on your chest is going to feel pretty bad pretty soon. All right? So what can we do when they hold us here? Well, we could literally hold them there for the win via attrition. But I have a favorite. I'm going to take my left hand right where I keep my left wristwatch, and I'm going to slide it under his elbow. Okay? Once my wrist is under his elbow and I've got like this grip, I'm going to grip and S grip together. Okay? Just like this. Now from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to Kimura Jonathan. So how would a Kimura work from here? Let's pretend I was in side control. The wrist is going to come down as the elbow comes forward. If we can control this shoulder and do that, that's a tap. If his shoulder can come up, no tap. But I've got 225 pounds on this shoulder, so it probably won't come up much. So wristwatch under the elbow, I hold my fingers together, and now his wrist goes down as his elbow comes up. Be careful when you do this, because a lot of guys don't realize that they're getting Kimura'd, and they just think, oh, I have to be tough. I can't tap to pressure. Yeah, but you better. 1, 2, wrist down, elbow up. That sucks, okay? So there you have it, guys. Kesa Gatame. I call it the Kesa Gatame kill system. Sometimes I'll take a white belt student, give them this, and I'll see them tap out color belts. Why? Because if you make the mistake of getting into Kesa Gatame, you'll probably be finished. The beauty of Kesa Gatame is there is no points for it in the IBJJF system. Now, I say the beauty of it. Why? Because without points, like the toughest jiu-jitsu guys are usually competitors or have been competitors, as a general rule. So they haven't been taught to get this position. This isn't like passing the guard or getting to mount on the back. They haven't been taught to get here much because there's no incentive to do it from a points perspective, especially risking back points by going for it. But anyone who maybe comes from a wrestling or a judo or catch wrestling type background that has employed this hold before will attest to its effectiveness as both a pin and a submission position. So add it to your arsenal and be the guy annoying his teammates with that crazy pressure, because I tell you, you're not going to win friends, but you are going to get a lot of taps. Have fun with this, guys. I'm Professor Tom. Don't forget, follow me on social media, and don't forget to check out www.thegrapplingacademy.com, guys. We've got free courses, we've got full-length courses. So if you enjoy learning from the material I put out, guys, thank you for your support. I sincerely appreciate it, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.